Let's talk math. Yay, math. So again, I give you guys um basically my math talk for I'm going to give you tips and tricks because I think the tips and tricks are really what you're going to get out of this, okay? As opposed to anything else. So, I think that the first thing that I want you to do is identify what it is they are asking you. Okay? Because a lot of times people don't realize what the heck the question's actually asking. Okay? So there was a question that I did the other day. That was a long, long question. Okay? And they were like sitting there going, "Oh boy, what are they asking me?" And then all of a sudden, the student just started multiplying numbers together. And I said to him, I said, "So what do you know? What do you know about this question? You know?" Um, and this is what they said. They said, "Well, I know that they're asking me what the cost basis for the home was, and cost basis for the home is what they paid for it. So instead of actually getting the right answer, okay, they actually got to a point where they were actually doing math in the calculator and they were getting further and further from the answer and they were spending more and more time on it. So when you see a math problem, first and foremost, identify what it is they're asking. Second, save all your darn math for the end. Do not do any of the math. Why? Just like I told you, identify what it is that they're asking you so that you're not unnecessarily spending time on a question. You also want to make sure that if you do want to spend time on a question, that you're not sitting there going, "Oh my gosh, let me try to figure out this question." And then all of a sudden you put your head down, you start calculating a whole bunch of things. You think you're on the right path. You look up and you spend 10 minutes on this question. Math could do that to you. Save all your math for the end. If the answer is a number, skip it. Skip it. Go to the next one. If your answer's a number, skip. Okay? If your answer's a number, skip. Okay? Now, third one. Put your numbers into your calculator numerous times. Listen, I got butterfingers. You got butterfingers. Okay, your calculator does not sometimes. Can we use a calculator on the test? Absolutely, you can use a calculator on the test. Okay, so and here's what I'm going to tell you. They will give you a calculator. Okay, they will give you a calculator. Okay. So, and for those of you who don't realize, I made a joke. Your calculator. So, someone asked, "Can we use a calculator during the online test?" Yes, you can. However, I don't know if they would provide one within the application for you, or if you would have to provide your own and also show them proof that it is not a scientific calculator. So if it's a graphing calculator, scientific calculator, don't bring it, don't bother, don't try, don't anything. Okay. Also, if it's your phone, don't, no. Basic calculator. If you spent more than $6 on it at CVS, you have the wrong calculator. That is the answer to the story. So put your numbers into your calculator numerous times. Why? You get the butterfingers, you get the nerves, you get the this, that, and the other. Okay? And be confident in knowing what steps you need to take in order to get to the question. Okay? I hate seeing students get to a point where they know the answer, they know how to get there, and then all of a sudden they put it into the calculator the wrong way. They miss a decimal point, they miss a thingy. No, don't do that. Okay, don't do that. All right. And the last thing that I will tell you is don't sweat the math. Now, couple things that you're going to see on your test. Okay. And I want to get involved with what each of these things are. Okay. So you're going to see a couple different questions on your test. There are some that I could guarantee you will have. Okay. There are some that I can guarantee you will have. So, okay, what those are is this, okay? You will have a question on an amortization table. So let me show you what an amortization table looks like, okay? This is an amortization table, okay? Here's what an amortization table looks like, okay? So what I will tell you is this. I know it might be small. This is the best amortization table I have, okay? What it shows you is the monthly payments based on the rate. Rate is on the left-hand side, over how many years the term is. And that's the monthly payments per $1,000 of a mortgage. So let me ask you a question in the chat. Does that mean principal and interest? Guys, type in the chat and let me know. Does that mean principal and interest? I know you would know. The answer to that is 100% yes, okay? That is your principal and interest. So if my mortgage is $2,000, guess what? It's 2 times whatever that is, and that would be my monthly payment. If it's $3,000, it'll be 3 times whatever that middle number is, okay? If it's a $200,000 mortgage, that's 200 thousands. It would be 200 times that number. And that's the answers as far as how you use an amortization table. Now, I have on my YouTube channel several videos of me using amortization charts in the math questions. So if you just type in amortization, boom, it'll be right there on my YouTube channel so you can see what a question would look like in regards to using the amortization table, okay? So that is what you want to get out of this, is that is how you use the amortization table, okay? Next type of question that you are going to see on your test is one with a cap rate. Now, cap rate is basically questions that have to do with the reason we would use a cap rate problem is typically this is used in the income approach, okay? When someone is appraising, it is typically used in the income approach. So this is usually income producing properties. So what I always remember with cap rates is this formula. Uncle Irv wears a cap. And with this formula, let me show you. You will always have 2 numbers, okay? So if you look at the way that I wrote this out, do you see how there's a division between the top and the bottom? And there's a multiplication at the bottom. So basically, whatever 2 numbers you are multiplying or dividing, the other number would be the number that you would get as a result. So income divided by rate, and that's what that is. This is income, cap rate, and value. Okay, so income divided by rate equals value. Income divided by value equals rate. Rate times value equals income. Okay, and that's a really simple formula for cap rate. And I'm going to leave that up there and move some things around. Okay, we're going to erase the smiley face because we're already starting with math. So there's no more smiley faces. No more smiley faces. Sad faces, if anything. Now, move that over here. Okay. Now, what we're going to talk about is Uncle Irv's younger brother loves to drink Pabst Blue Ribbon. And that is the part over the base times the rate. You could use this for almost any rate problem, okay? Because if you actually think about it too, IRV is the same thing as this. Income is part of the base, okay? It's just what happens is this. I'm just trying to make it easier for you to understand, okay? And again, if this is making your head explode, don't worry, because this is not something that you have to truly worry about. And there's things that I have on my channel that will help you go at your own pace so that you have that, okay? So part over the base times the rate. Typically, commission problems would go with that. And again, part divided by base equals rate. Part divided by rate equals base. Base times rate equals the part. So like a commission problem, the sale price of the home would be the base. Because here's the thing, if we're looking at it like a whole pizza pie, think of the base as the entire pie. The rate, that would be the commission, and that would be the rate, okay, at what, so Kathy wrote a question to me which said $65,000 income for a $400,000 house. What would be missing? So it looks like you gave me an income and a value. So depending on what you're looking for probably a rate at which that's taken out. So that would be, okay. So what you have there is in that question. So let me show you. The question that was sent in to me was this: 65K income. And just identify what you have, because it even said, you even told me you have an income there. $400,000 house. So that looks like 400K there. So it looks like an income divided by value. So if you divide those two, you divide the 65,000 by the 400,000, just to, whatchamacallit, just to kind of get you the number that you're looking for. 65,000 divided by 400,000. You're looking at a 16.25%. So either that's the commission, that's a very good commission, or the cap rate. Okay, that's a very good cap rate if that's what it is. So basically, whatever that question was that you just asked, Kathy, and thank you for sending that in. I appreciate it. That would be what you're looking at there. So 65K, okay, and then 400K value. That would be the situation. So really, it's just a matter of knowing where to plug things in. Do you see how once you could throw any numbers at me right now, and once we identify what they are, okay, then it's really easy for me to plug and play, okay? So that's why I told you guys this. This is what I told you. Step one, identify what it is they're asking for, okay? Because I know if you're asking me for a rate, it's an income divided by value. I know I need to get that. That's so in order for me to get to my final step, I know that in a cap rate problem, okay? I know that that's what I have to do, okay? So that is percentages, okay? And again, I would say work on some problems that are in your book, some problems that you'll see from my YouTube channel. Work on them on your own so you do not feel like it's either moving too fast or too slow for you, okay? So try to implement those when you're studying. Now, let's look at a couple other things, okay? Now we're going to look at area, okay? And this is the last thing that I truly want to focus on, because if you get amortization, rates, and then area, you're fine. You have math. You have what you need to know, okay? So what we're first going to do is this. We're going to talk about the one conversion that you will need to have, okay? The one conversion you'll need to have is there are 560 square feet in 1 acre. Okay. How do I remember that? There's 2 ways to remember that. I'll tell you the 2. You ready? I always say 4 old men driving 35 and a 60. There are 4 old men in a car driving 35 and a 60. The other way people remember it is they add the first 2 numbers up and they say 7, 11 has donuts. 4, 3, 5, 6 has donuts. So I don't like that one because people have had the tendency of mixing up 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. I like 4 old men driving in a car going 35 and a 60 because then you know the numbers and the order that they go in. So some people like the 7-Eleven as donuts. They just remember that easier. And again, this just goes to your mind will think differently depending on what the circumstances are. Okay. Depending on what makes sense to you, what resonates, that's the situation. Next one. Area. The area of a rectangle or a square is side multiplied by side. Multiply these 2 numbers together, and you get the area of any square and or rectangular object. Okay? Any square or rectangular object. Okay? Now, the next one is this, and this is the final one I'm going to leave you with. The area of a triangle. We would agree that any square or rectangular object has 2 triangles. If you have children, you know that squares and rectangles have 2 triangles in them because you have cut grilled cheese sandwiches or peanut butter and jelly sandwiches into triangles. You have done that. You have done that many a times, okay? If you are a parent, you have done that, okay? You have cut off the crust and you have cut things into triangles, okay? So what happens is to find the area of a triangle. And if you want to laugh too, if you really want to laugh, okay? I still, as an adult, cut all my sandwiches into triangles and I cut the crust off. And literally my wife told me on one of our first dates that I am a man child because we sat down, had like a restaurant, like a pub or something. And I will tell you what I ordered. And she said to me, I will never forget these words because I ordered it just nonchalantly. Like, this is exactly what I order every time. And it is what I order every time, pretty much, almost always. I ordered a Shirley Temple, chicken fingers and mozzarella sticks. And my wife said to me, "Are you a man child?" And I said, "Don't be jealous because I'm probably going to have a better meal than you." And they actually screwed up her entire dinner and she ate half of my chicken fingers. Okay. So yeah. So if I sound like Gallatin from YouTube, I have to see this Gallatin in person. But let me show you the last thing. So what happens is this: to find the area of a triangle, it's 1/2 the base times the height. Because think about it, there are 2 triangles, right? So if you half these 2 things being multiplied together, you would get the area of a triangle. So a lot of times they're going to show you like a rhombus thing like this, and they'll say this is 300, this is 400, and this is 200. What's the area of it? You basically have to take 300 times 200 to find the area of this. Then you know that this one is just this portion is 100 because think about it, 400 minus 300. And then you just have to do 200 times 100, half it, and add it to that number. So guys, any questions, concerns, burning desires? Okay, let me stop my recording.